Hey Rockstars, Vaine here. For this month's installment of Radeon 3000 Gaming, I'm featuring my personal top 10 favorite games to play on a Radeon 3000 or equivalent graphics chipset. So without further ado, we'll count down 10 through 6 in part 1 of this two-part episode. Let's rock! This is the game that launched one of the best shooter franchises out there today. And after you play it, you'll know why. From start to finish, the game will test you with its brutal difficulty. Unlike its sequels, the original Far Cry really drives the feeling of helplessness home by making it apparent that you are only one man on an island populated by trigger-happy mercenaries that want nothing more than to provide your head with some extra ventilation. Ordinary tactics, they don't cut it in this first-person shooter. You'll have to make use of stealth, vehicles, and other weaponry to make it off the island in one piece. It was a revolutionary first-person shooter for its time, and still holds up fantastically to this day. It's extremely playable on the Radeon 3000, so if you haven't played this yet, then I strongly recommend it for its challenge and frantic gameplay alone. It's a mindlessly simple gameplay mechanic, but does it ever make for a satisfying and fun experience? Welcome to Killing Floor, a simple game where you're faced with waves of undead monsters. Your only objective is to survive each wave. Every kill nets you money, which you can spend at the vendor at the end of each wave. The vendor doesn't stick around for long though, so it's usually a frantic rush to get to her room in time to buy yourself some goodies. And by goodies, I mean weapons. Weapons that can be used to turn your average ghoul into a splattered memory on the wall. Speaking of weapons, the selection at the vendor can be almost overwhelming at times. So if you're an indecisive person, like me, then you might find yourself with the 9mm that you walked in with, since time will have undoubtedly ran out. With a vast amount of maps, weapons, and of course online multiplayer support, this is one wave-based shooter you'll want to sink countless hours into on your Radeon 3000 or equally low-end machine. You may turn your nose up at the thought of free-to-play games, but this isn't your typical pay-to-win cash-in, not by a long shot. This is Battlefield Play for Free, which is a nearly perfect remake of Battlefield 2, though not quite. There are still a few balancing problems present, as well as the odd bug every now and again, not to mention the horrible stuttering just after being killed, but through its faults I find it endearing. The core competitive gameplay really shines through. When you start out, you're a humble soldier with relatively weak weaponry and no perks. But as you progress and new weapons, gadgets, and apparel become available, you'll find yourself hooked and you'll be pulling off moves that would make Chuck Norris himself proud enough to buy you a drink. I've logged way more hours in this addictive free multiplayer experience than I actually care to admit. But since it runs great on the Radeon 3000 and the price of admission is free, it's hard to go wrong. I'm willing to bet that many of you watching right now didn't even know that there was a PC version of this game. This is the game that launched my personal favorite game franchise ever. This is Metal Gear Solid. For its time, the stealth gameplay element was mind-blowing, but where this game really grabs your interest and strangles it senseless is its deep story. If you can look past the very dated graphics, then what you'll find is a story that will hold your attention from start to finish like no other game you've played. Actually, scratch that. The story is unlike anything you've ever experienced in any form of media. There are moments that will get your blood pumping. There are moments that will keep you guessing. There are moments that can even move you to tears. In fact, I get a little choked up just hearing this music that's playing. A Radeon 3000 is beyond overkill to run this game. But if you can get yourself a rare CD copy like I did, then it's a story worth experiencing for yourself. I personally love a good story, and the Mass Effect series delivers exactly that, through stunning visuals, top-tier voice acting, and extraordinary characters. Out of all 3 games in the series, I personally enjoyed Mass Effect 3 the most, despite its lackluster ending. You don't have to be a fan of sci-fi to enjoy this epic drama. There are so many elements that make this title great that it's hard to know where to start. The mix of fast and fluent combat with story-altering decisions gives you something truly unique. You can find yourself spending hours simply talking to other characters just to learn more about them, and never once does it feel like a chore. You'll unite many different alien races throughout the course of this game in a desperate fight against the sinister threat of the Reapers, whose goal is to eradicate all life in the universe. It's a truly uplifting tale of courage in the face of overwhelming adversity, and the best part is, that it's fully playable on the Radeon 3000 and equivalent low-end PCs. And that concludes part 1 of this 2-part series. Join me here again next weekend for part 2, where we'll conclude with 5 through 1. Take care, guys.